Hey guys, welcome back to Good Girl Gone Fab TV. My name is Simone Renee, and if you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. This video is going to be a heat-proof foundation routine. I go step by step on how I get my foundation to be matte and last all day. I do use a lot of matte products, so if you have dry skin, this may not be your cup of tea, but you obviously can edit it to make yourself feel and your skin feel more comfortable. I have oily, so like normal combination skin, so this really works for me, and this definitely will work for all of my oily friends out there. I use a lot of powder and a lot of matte products and setting sprays and powders and all that great stuff, so you're gonna see everything I use in the video. Don't forget to subscribe to Good Girl Gone Fab TV and click the button, and if you like this video, obviously thumbs it up. So without further ado, we're gonna jump right into the video, so this can be a fast one for you guys, and let me know what you guys think. What I'm gonna do is prime our face and already moisturized and clean my face. You're gonna make sure your face is very clean and moisturized. My favorite moisturizer is the Clinique Dramatically Different Moisturizing Gel. This is definitely good for oily and combination skin, and obviously I've used all of it, so definitely check this out. And then after that, I am going to prime with my Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r primer. So you can really use any primer. I'm actually going to use two primers, but this is the one I start with, and I put a few pumps on my hand. And priming is very key for the summertime. It's always important, but especially for the summer and for these steps, you want to make sure that you have a very smooth and primed base so the foundation has something to stick to and stay all day. So I put this primer on my forehead and my cheeks area, and I rub it in. And although those Fenty products are matte, it doesn't dry your skin out. It still gives you a matte finish without drying it out. And since I have a very oily T-zone, what I like to do is take this Becca Ever Matte Poreless primer, and I put this in my T-zone area. You definitely want to warm this up a little bit and put it on your fingers like this, and rub it between your finger to warm it up so it gets tacky. And this is a super matte primer. Like, this actually will give you a little bit of dryness, but if you warm it up on your skin before applying it to your face, it won't be ashy and it won't be super drying. And I put that around my nose area because that's where I sweat the most. And then I put a little bit like in my T-zone and forehead area too. And you probably, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little white, so you blend it in. And then it's primed. Very important. So what's the next step is a little bit unusual. Most people don't do this in their everyday foundation routine, but this is definitely what's going to keep your foundation from sweating off and from sliding and staying matte and put all day. I like to take a translucent setting powder, and my favorite of all time is the Mercier loose setting powder in the color translucent, obviously. And this is one of the best powders on the market. It's very high rated. And then I use it, and I take my damp sponge, and this is the Beauty Bakery sponge. You can take whatever sponge you use daily and whatever sponge you're going to use for your foundation, but make sure it's damp. I dip it into the into the powder. I got it everywhere. And you do this right after you prime your face. You put the translucent powder on your skin, and you're going to dab it in to your skin. So what this does is it soaks up any oils. It also kind of blurs your skin, so it helps with the blurring effect and the perfecting of the foundation. And I really like doing this because even though it's powder and you're putting it on before a liquid, it doesn't dry your skin out really at all, as long as you moisturize and you use the good primer that's not matte. And yes, it will make your skin a little bit white, but it's not going to be anything that is going to give you flashback or the foundation can't cover. And I like to put a little bit more in the oily areas that I use the Becca primer. And it's also going to make your foundation a little bit more full coverage. Dry skin, I will use less powder, obviously, because this is going to make your skin really matte. So don't use as much powder if you do want to do this step. Alright, so now my face is primed, powdered up, and I didn't use that much. As you can see, you can't really see it. It's translucent, which is why you use a translucent powder and not like a banana or a skin tone powder. The next thing you're going to do is pick out your favorite foundation, one that you trust and know that lasts a long time. I love this Cover FX Power Play foundation. I've just been using it for the last month or so, and it is very good. You can get it from Sephora. And while it is a little bit pricey, it's definitely worth it because this is one of the foundations that I know will last all day. It's full coverage, and it's also lightweight though, and you're going to see how I apply it. So, yeah. I like to use a brush to apply the foundation and then a sponge to blend it out. This foundation is a matte foundation, like I said, but I really don't feel like I have anything on. The only reason why it feels a little bit heavy is because of the powder and before this, but if you wear it alone, it's still a really good full coverage lightweight foundation. So that was with one layer of foundation. I'm gonna do a second one just because I have some dark spots that I want to cover, but really you only need like one layer of this foundation. So now that your foundation is all blended out and you have a smooth canvas, that is a very important step. Once you have your foundation and powder and base set, the next thing you're going to do is obviously highlight and contour. I'm going to use this Colourpop no filter highlighter, and this is also a matte concealer, which I like because it doesn't crease or really it's not cakey, but a little bit goes a long way. And you want to find a concealer that doesn't move and doesn't crease. So I have one that's like full coverage, one that like is good for your skin type, because that's also going to be a factor in your foundation and in your makeup not shifting, is having a good concealer that stays in place as well. So we're going to blend this out. And the Colourpop concealer is only $6, so it's affordable, and it comes in like 30 shades, I believe. Don't quote me, but it comes in a lot of different shades, and people actually use it as foundation. So it's a good match for the summer. And for a summer day, I also don't like to use like a lot of concealer under my eyes, just because you're putting a lot of product on already with all the powder and primer. So I like to just put enough to cover up dark circles. And if it's a summer day, you really don't need a dramatic highlight anyway. So you don't need that much concealer. You just need a little bit in the corners and then to blend it out. Next step is going to be to set your concealer with a banana or a baking powder, depending on your skin tone. I'm using the Makeup Revolution Luxury Banana Powder, and this powder is really good for setting your concealer and your face and foundation. So using the same sponge I blended out everything else with, I'm just going to take a little bit and set my face. And I start with my under eye. Also, the banana colored powder helps brighten your under eye, so you don't have to use as much concealer. You can bake if you want, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna set it and kind of press it into the skin. Alright, so now that I set my under eye, I'm gonna use to take the same Mercier translucent powder from the beginning, and I'm gonna set the rest of my face. And this is the key step to making the foundation last. You're gonna use the same sponge. The sponge does everything. And just like press it into the skin. And once you start pressing it, it disappears. It's not just like a white mark. And you want to set the areas that like you know that you sweat and crease a lot. So like around your mouth, your forehead, and around your nose. That's typically where people sweat the most, and obviously around their forehead and their hairline. So you want to make sure you get those areas. Okay, so really that is like the basis of the complexion part. I am going to contour, and I'm going to do that off camera. One of the things I like to do is I like to powder contour instead of cream contouring, because cream obviously can melt. Powder contour helps everything stay in place. So I'm just going to do that really quick, and then we're going to get back to the face. So I contoured my face, and I'm going to go in with my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder, and it is in the color Deep, to kind of just add some more definition to my face. It's going to kind of clean up the highlight and contour and make everything blend more seamlessly. So there's a lot of powder in this process, but it definitely helps my makeup last all day. And I love this powder. Sometimes I just wear it alone just because it gives you a nice finish, and that's really the point. It like cleans up everything. It gives it a nice matte finish. Really the last step of the complexion process is setting your face. After you already did your foundation, you primed and you powdered everything up and set everything, you want to go in with a good setting spray. But if you like MAC products, I've recently picked out the MAC Prep and Plus Prime Fix Plus spray. And if you're familiar with MAC, you also know that MAC Fix Plus is like a holy grail in the makeup community. Essentially, it is just a lot of water, but this one is the Fix Plus Matte, which I just picked up and I've been using it for about a week or so. It is a setting spray, but it's matte, and the main ingredient is water, but it also has alcohol and silica, which is a powder. So alcohol obviously dries the skin, and powder, as we've been using, mattifies and makes everything set. So I'm gonna use this to set my foundation. It's gonna make everything melt together and just last all day. So you wanna spray it very far away from your skin and make sure everything is covered evenly. And then what I like to do is go back in with a beauty blender and kind of press it into the skin. And that way everything is all mixed in together. If you just leave it in, it will like, this spray is weird. Oh, maybe that's why I'm not spraying it right. Okay, if you make sure you press all the way down so it mists and it doesn't just give like wet bubbles on your face. And yeah, this is my everyday foundation look so far. I'm gonna do my eyes and lips off camera, and then we're gonna come back and talk about the process. All right, so now that I finished my whole face, I highlighted and put on some eye makeup and some lipstick. This is like the completed look, and this is what my face looks like once I've did all my foundation and contoured and highlighted. And this should last for a good 8 to 10 hours. Like if I do my makeup like this on like a Saturday morning before work, I'll come home and I'll still look good. So I think it's pretty heat proof, even from like the outside weather. If I go like out on like a date, when I come back home, I still look pretty good. I can't stop you guys from sweating because sweating is like a naturally bodily function. So you probably will have to blot, but your face will not melt off and you won't be just profusely wet when the day is over. So if you like this look, obviously guys, thumbs it up. And if you want to see more tutorials like this, let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate all of you guys' love for my last video, and all the comments and messages and DMs were very, very supportive, and it definitely motivated me to get this video out. So thank you guys, and I love all my good girl gone Fabs around the world and around the city and around the state or wherever you guys are watching. So make sure to subscribe and tell all your friends, and thanks you guys for watching.